recently perhaps. We still have loads of people milling around having lots of conversations about embedded finance. But now I'm delighted to be joined by Barry McCarthy, founder and head of embedded hedging at Assure Hedge. And I'm sure you'll tell us more about what that means in a sec. But I thought we could start off with you telling us more about you and indeed Assure Hedge.
Well, thank you very much for having me as a guest, Lisa. It's a real honour to be here. I founded Assure Hedge 6 years ago, around the time of Brexit when it first was announced, and at that stage I was working as a financial markets day trader. I was trading futures markets for personal gain, proprietary trading, and I've been doing that for a long time. And I was really affected by the story of particularly the mushroom producers in Ireland, who
Okay,
pretty
I want
much
to hear more about this.
they supply all of the UK supermarkets, Sainsbury's, Tesco, with all the mushrooms, and there was about 7 or 8 producers, and so their costs are in euro in Ireland. Their income was in pounds in the UK, and when the Brexit thing. The referendum first came out in a no. The value of sterling collapsed, 10-12% in a day or two, and 7 of the top 10 producers went out of business, simply because of a move in currency. And it got me thinking. I had all these skills in the financial markets. I knew how to access the instruments, and I decided I wanted to create a platform that would help, your everyday business to mitigate their risk. It's as simple as insurance, but an overwhelming amount of SMEs, small businesses, don't insure themselves against currency, and so we have as a company quite a large ambition to bring hedging to everybody, in the same way that every self-respecting business will have insurance. They should also have currency insurance.
So that is incredibly interesting, and I love the fact that you shared that concrete example of the mushroom farmers, because I think the attitude really, or I think we view hedging products as something so sophisticated and complicated, sophisticated financial products that belong with large complex organizations, and it sounds like you're committed and you see the need really to broaden access to those kind of products. Tell us a little bit more why it's so important. You likened it to insurance.
Well, I mean, if you look at the bigger companies in the world, the top 1% biggest companies, 100% of them will hedge their risk, which simply just means you don't leave it to chance. You pick a definite position of a currency rate, and you pay a relatively small amount of cost to secure that. You would be fired. You would be fired on your first day if you were in a big company and you didn't hedge, right? And I have a lot of respect for small business people. And they have a lot going on. They're doing everything, and I've created my own, small business, which is now becoming a big business. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy to go out of business because of something like a currency move that is entirely within your control. Okay, going out of business because of something out of your control is a different story. But protecting against currency is really, really easy. And I figured out that the traditional institutions who provide these products, generally not using technology in any way, for various reasons. The products aren't there. It's really hard to even get an account open. It can take 6 months. And what that means is that your everyday small business just chooses to do nothing, right? Because it's so hard to get set up.
So they just leave it to chance.
They leave it to chance. They roll the dice. But these same people, running the business would say, if I said to you, do you insure against theft and fire? Do you insure against public liability? they'd say absolutely.
Yeah.
But the currency side of this is much, much more dangerous. And what we decided to do in 2016 was to do something very ambitious. Was to build a platform that would digitize the products and deliver them to the SME, through channels they're already using. So, for example, I mean, we're here at the, it's an embedded finance show today. I mean, if we're to distribute products to millions of SMEs, we realized we couldn't build the sales force and go out there, one by one. So we thought, right, how can we get to the businesses that actually need this? And we looked at cloud accounting providers, B2B platforms, anywhere in the digital economy. We through an API integration, we can see the risk. On a cloud accounting package, for example, you can see what's happening. You've just done a deal in Canada. I'm in the US. I have the risk. That information is now coming back. And
so they've got the data right there about the companies, from the companies who are using those platforms.
Yes, all the data is there. And what we do is we come back with, no matter how small the risk is, we can come back, through our embedded hedging integration with a bespoke solution, and on the same cost that the largest companies in the world get. And that's what gets me out of bed in the morning is that I get to do this.
That's really a great way of describing how you're broadening access to those products. It sounds like the education barrier is a big one, like understanding the risk, but also what you can do, like with insurance, to ameliorate those risks. And it also sounds like you're looking to work with a broad range of partners across the ecosystem.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, even here today at the event, we have 3 new deals, with all sorts of different partners. And that's the beauty of embedded finance. I mean, it's about bringing the value to the customer through channels they're already using. And it's just phenomenal to see. It's truly a win-win for everyone. And I don't think people fully realize the effect of embedded finance and how it's going to change the world. It's going to affect every human being on the planet in a good way, because it's going to bring the value to the consumer, right? And ultimately, that's a good thing for society.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it can expand access to products that help SMEs and others who, not that they're unaware of the risk, but as you said earlier, just seems too big so they don't do anything about it. So I think that's incredible.
Yeah, one of my inspirations for this is I'm from Ireland, and you may have heard of a guy called John Hume. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. He was a major part of the peace process between the north and the south of Ireland. And in spite of all he did to get peace, in his later years before he passed away, he said his proudest achievement in his life was to set up the credit union movement, right? Which meant that people from lower incomes could finally get access to financial products. And that really touched me, that in spite of all he's done, Nobel Prize, he said setting up the credit union movement, like so in the US it's the savings and loans, or Stadtsparkasse in Germany. But the effect that had on society, he said, was the biggest impact he made in his life. And finally, people could stop using these illegal money lenders, charging them exorbitant rates. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly similar to what we're doing in hedging, but I mean, I'll be very proud if we can see millions of underserved businesses get access to an essential financial product, which is hedging.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about.
Well, I think that's a fascinating note on which to finish. We hope at FTT Embedded Finance and Super Apps we're also doing our part to change the world and increase access to financial services. But just reflecting what you said, there's so much opportunity there, and it's exciting to see it unfold with companies like yours and others who are here with us today.
Yeah, and listen, thank you very much, Lisa, for having us. The event is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic event, and we've I'd highly recommend it to anyone for the future.
Brilliant, and I didn't even pay you to say that. Thank you
That
so
is true.
much.
Yeah.